I've been expecting you. Please sit down. I hope you don't mind. I'm just having a nice cup of tea. Would you like a cup of tea? Okay. Very good. All right, so you're here for your tarot reading for the month of July, is that correct? Yes, indeed. So I will be asking you to pick a number between 1 and 3 as I shuffle these cards. And then you may pick. Yes, I'm going to do 3 readings, but only one of them will be your reading because you will have chosen it. You will have divined the correct number for yourself. Yes, I have my moon cards here. I remember that you liked them. Or I knew that you would like them. Perhaps that's what I'm thinking. Yes, so we are going to draw 3 cards for you. 1 for career, 1 for relationships, and 1 for finances. So this is the Crystal Tarot deck. So this specific deck only has upright meanings. So your chances of getting a bad reading are lessened. Yes, I find a lot of people prefer that because it can seem a little daunting to some to get a card in reverse. Even sometimes, of course, the reversed cards are better than the upright. The reversed meanings are better than the upright meanings, but yes. So, did you pick your number yet? So let's begin. If you chose number 1, this is for you. So the month of July, we will start with career over here, and then relationships, and then money. And then, of course, we will draw you a moon card. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Just one more sip of tea before we start. It's Thursday work. So, we begin with career. You have the 8 of Swords. So the swords represent the mind, and they also represent conflict. So it is possible that there will be conflict ahead, but so the 8 of Swords, and as you can see on these cards, there is a crystal. So the crystal is to help you to either ward off the bad energy or that the card will bring, or to help strengthen the good that it will bring. So this crystal is bornite. So the Eight of Swords means that you will feel caged, trapped, restricted. You will have a tendency to sabotage yourself and the walls and fences you have created. None of it is real. It's all in your mind. Don't lock yourself away. Share your thoughts and ideas with friends. So perhaps this is something you need to share with your co-workers. Perhaps they've been talking quietly about something and you think they're talking about you, when in actuality they're just talking about a TV show that they know that you don't like or something like that. So this is also a time for learning. Bornite will help you remove self-imposed restrictions and obstacles and move on rapidly through the stagnant phase. This phase will last for as long or short as you permit. So as this is the July reading, perhaps without this guidance, this conflict, this feeling caged, trapped, restricted, you might have felt this for the entire of July, but now you know, and now you know that it's just all in your head. There's no need to fear, there's no need to put up walls around you. You should be more upfront with others, not in a confrontational way, but I think it would be good for you to just maybe take a step back and to think about things, or to take a look from further back and just sort of get out of your own head for a moment. The next card for you is relationships. So again, we have swords, we have the 8 and the 9. Now this deck has been used before, so I'm not sure why you have these two. Perhaps it's just a month of conflict for you, unfortunately. So the crystal for this is sunstone. And interestingly, it's to do with your sacral chakra. And your sacral is your sacrum, and it is to do with the sort of feeling in the pit of your stomach that you might get. So perhaps someone is bringing this feeling on for you when you see them. Perhaps it is, of course, relationships, but it doesn't have to mean a close relationship. This could be the someone at work that you are not, that you perhaps are a bit iffy of. So this is a stressful time for you. So we've already discovered that with your 8 of Swords. You can become snowed under by your emotions. It's easy for you to become tied to a depressing cycle of your thoughts and emotions about the past, leading to feelings of self-pity and vulnerability and sleepless nights. Help yourself out of gloom with sunstone, which relieves fear and eases stress. It will also bring the vitality you need. Look forward, not back, and you'll soon be thought through this phase. So I think also for card number 1, I gave you the advice to take a step back and look at things, you know, to see things more clearly. And I think perhaps this is where you need to be for here, but take a step back. Don't look back. There are things, I think, in everyone's past that can affect us more than we'd like. But I think it's better to close the door on those things. Remember, July is halfway through the year. So it starts the beginning of the 7th month. So this can be like a new leaf turned over for you, or just the month of July. Perhaps June was difficult. Perhaps it wasn't the whole first part of 2022. Perhaps it was perhaps it was only June. Okay, so this is your finances. And if it is the Ten of Swords, I may need to shuffle. We have the Three of Swords. It shows me that there really is conflict within you, dear group number 1. Now, the crystal, this is pretty wild because the crystal is pyrite. This is for your finances. Pyrite is fool's gold. So, for your finances, there is still work to do, so don't get caught up in dreaming. This is a creative and active time. Perhaps it is time for you to move on. Your thoughts have power. Ideas have taken shape, and it is time to pursue them and develop them further. Think for yourself, don't follow others, and rely on your original ideas. Don't think too much about your feelings, or you may find yourself trapped by them. Remember, we had card number 1. It said trapped, and it said trapped by a cage of your own making. So again, we have pyrite is supposed to help aid your thought process and will bring you sparks of inspiration and energy. It helps you to focus your mind and release any negative emotions. So I think that July for you will be a month of moving forward, a month of moving your troubles behind you. Yes, do you notice the symbolism of these cards moving forward for you as well? Moving forward, remembering that sometimes the conflict, sometimes the cage, the feeling trapped is just an opportunity for you to step back. It is perhaps your emotions telling you, your body, your own intuition telling you, I need to take a step back from this. I need to just take a breath. I need to make sure I am resting myself. Because I think a lot of stress comes from you being overworked or from you just feeling overwhelmed. And I think this is the result for you. But July seems to be good. July seems to be all of this being put behind you. Shall we see what your moon card says? So, now if there is more than one moon card, that does not matter. That one was coming, but not yet. Your moon card is Moon in Capricorn. So this says, put aside emotional concerns and focus on achieving or increasing financial security. Does that not just cover everything we've discussed? I love this. I think that was the perfect card for you, and the perfect card to finish up your reading. So I hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that it's given you some focus and some clarity, and I hope that you remember to take a step back and look at things more clearly, and just remember to be good to yourself. Group number 2, I'm just going to have a sip of tea before we begin. Alright, so we are doing 3 cards. The first card, career. The second card, this guy's coming out. The second card is relationships. And the third card is money or finances. This one is also coming out. And this one. That was a nice quick one for you there. So, card number 1 is the 10 of Wands. Now, the Wands are learning cards. It may mean that there is some learning in store for you this month when it comes to your career. So the 10 of Wands, if you recall, the crystal is to help you focus your energies. So this crystal is orange calcite. So at work, I have had the 10 of Wands before. It is usually that you're carrying a burden. These wands represent rods that you carry on your back. So you need to focus your energy and emotions and hold everything together. So that is perhaps how you feel about it. You're just barely holding on to all these rods upon your back. And it feels like you have a great weight to carry. So you unfortunately have all of these rods upon your back, and there is just seems to be too much to do, and everything seems a burden. So perhaps you've taken on extra responsibilities at work, or perhaps you've been made to take on extra responsibilities at work, and therefore you have a heavier burden, but it is difficult for you to go around with this huge burden. This 10 very large rods, very heavy rods. Orange calcite is to help you calm and to help calm you and to focus your energy. So I think when you think about the 10 rods together, it seems like quite a burden. And I think the easiest way is to unburden yourself one by one. So think of these rods as individual tasks, as individual things, and then just try and work through them as calmly as you can without thinking about the weight of them, because if you think about all 10, it will overwhelm you. But if you think about working through them one by one, then that is the way to think about it, because that will slowly unburden you. That won't break your back, that won't harm you, that will help. So take things one by one when it comes to your career. Next, we have your relationships. So we have the 8 of Cups. So the crystal here is fire agate. So this is saying there is more to do. You may have gained a lot, but you are still unfulfilled. It is time to take the next step on your path or begin a new journey. Perhaps a change in direction is needed. And perhaps you have to leave some things or people behind and unburden yourself. This can be a challenge, but focus your energy and you'll find it easier to move on. Fire agate offers protection and emotional security. So perhaps there's a relationship in your life that is a little stagnant. perhaps not toxic, but just not beneficial to you and the other party. Of course, this does not have to be a romantic relationship. This could be a family member or a friend or a work colleague, and it's just, you know, not going to work out. Is maybe if it's someone you're more acquainted with, like a family member or a work colleague, then it's just that your personalities don't match. Or maybe if it's a friend or a romantic relationship, it's perhaps you've just grown apart, and that's no one's fault. That's just what happens. So, of course, this is only advice, and I'm not telling you to go and divorce your partner, but you know, maybe it's telling you just to take a look at the people in your life and make sure that no one is in another's life for the wrong reasons. And we have your finance card. So we have the Two of Swords. So interestingly, you have had 3 of the 4 minor arcanas in your reading. So the Two of Swords, the crystal is rutilated quartz. So it's as if you were going through a balancing act. There are so many possibilities. So maybe you have a little side hustle going, or maybe you have a new job opportunity, maybe because you are tired of carrying around other people's weight. So you need to have careful thought about your next action, but with wisdom you will make the right choice. Don't be hasty. But once you come to a decision, don't delay action, because there is a possibility that you may become trapped by your own thoughts. Open your eyes and see the real world around you, and you will see there is little to fear. Rutilated quartz brings balance and calm, as well as removing negativity and energy blocks, releasing the energy you will need. So, new prospects for you in the month of July. That's very interesting, but it seems as though you cannot carry too many things on your back. So it says, careful thought. With wisdom you will make the right choice. So do not add to your burdens. You already have enough. So you need to choose. Perhaps it's choose which one of the jobs or the opportunities from this card will help you to gain financially. We also have for you a moon card today. We have half to full moon. So embracing high levels of motivation and energy will bring feelings of empowerment and satisfaction. So I think that wraps up your reading quite nicely. So of course it says high levels of motivation. Perhaps that's to work through your different, getting these different rods off of your back. So that is, maybe you're discarding some or all of these rods to help to bring you your next opportunity. Maybe even some of these rods you carry on your back is a relationship. Of course, I mentioned this could be a co-worker, so maybe a co-worker is making trouble for you. Perhaps it's not intentional, perhaps it's just their personality, and perhaps it's just the two of you clash with each other, or just rub each other the wrong way. It happens for no reason sometimes, so maybe that has to do with that, and just energy, and just not like try and harness the energy that the moon gives you and get rid of some of these rods from your back. So I hope that helped you, and hope to see you next time. Bye. Hello group 3, welcome to your reading. So we are picking 3 cards for you for the month of July. We have a card for your career, a card for your relationships, and one for your finances. So this one is, oh, this one is 2. That's why it didn't want to come out. It was actually resisting me. I don't know if you saw. The cards know where they are needed. Again, it's 2. Again, it resisted. Something is telling me your mind isn't very clear, group 3. Something is also telling me that June wasn't the best month for you, and so you're really feeling like you really need a good reading for the month of July. And I can promise you, I will try my best. But as I said, the cards know. The cards know where they're needed. So your first card is Temperance. Now this is your career card. So Temperance, of course, is number 14 in the Major Arcana. Temperance, the crystal representing temperance is the garnet. So you are transforming. Emotions play an important role now, but don't let them overwhelm you. Temper your heart with your mind, as understanding your emotions will lead to self-control. Work on removing any blocks and allowing your energy and ideas to flow. Temperance also brings a time for reconciliation, fixing relationships where harsh words may have been spoken. Don't block your emotions with indifference to a person or solution. You are in a period of intellectual and emotional growth, so be flexible. Blend your abilities with the new ideas you are absorbing and compromise where you need to. Broaden your horizons, focus on the goodness all around you, as there is harmony and understanding to be found. Garnet can help balance emotions and relieve the depression, disruption, and trauma that change may bring. So remember, that's not that it may bring in the past. So that could also mean that a change has happened recently, which is maybe why I felt reluctance when I was drawing your cards. And yeah, so it could have been a change that brought depression and disruption before. But now, as long as your mind and your heart are in the same place, good things will happen for you. So as I said, this of course relates to your career, and it speaks of a perhaps a relationship bridge that may have been burned. So this could be a former co-worker or a present co-worker. I know that, you know, being around someone for many hours of the day can be difficult and can force some unkind words from even the most patient of people. So perhaps this is something you've been dwelling on, unkind words between yourself and a co-worker, perhaps even a superior in your job. And perhaps it's been weighing on you, but you know, it's speaking of clarity. So remember, while it may have seemed a little harsh to you, maybe that's something that didn't, you know, even cross their minds. And so maybe you've sort of given this person that you had maybe crossed paths with a little bit of a wide berth, and maybe they don't remember your unkind words and they think you've been ignoring them. So perhaps this is a bridge that will be mended between you and a co-worker. Or maybe your heart's just not been in it. In your job recently, that can happen from time to time. So maybe, you know, this girl is spreading her water between two goblets, representing the heart and the mind. And she's pouring one to another when she needs equal balance. So that's something I think perhaps you need. It's a little bit more balance between the heart and the mind, or between work and home life as well. And now we have your relationships card. Another one from the major arcana. We have number 11, which is justice. Now, just a gentle reminder that relationships doesn't have to mean a romantic relationship. This could also be a friendship, or this could be even to do with a co-worker, or it could be a family relationship. Anything. It doesn't just mean romantic. So the crystal that you see at her feet is jade. So she has a pair of balanced scales representing peace, balance, and harmony. And we just spoke about the balance between Temperance's two cups. So these are keywords for justice, along with freedom, justice of course, and karma. Pay attention to the details right now, as although the important decision is not necessarily yours, you can have a great influence over events. So perhaps this is someone else's relationship. Avoid being judgmental. See through the foggy things in your mind and issues around you, and make your own choices where you can. As the scales represent balance, but also represent duality. You may be drawn to unlikely people or a partner. Opposites need one another to exist. There is a new strength in your combination, which neither of you have individually. Jade, the crystal of justice, will help bring wisdom to all of your decisions and help you to appreciate the many sides of any argument. Expression is important, and you will need to focus on your throat chakra for clear communication of your thoughts and ideas at this time. So I think that one is pretty self-explanatory, but I really like the fact that it speaks of balance. And that is something we covered in our first card, especially when I just had the feeling that it was to do with relationships again. So again, we have this justice. So maybe drawn to unlikely people or a partner. So maybe even this person that you like fell out with, maybe that's a person that, you know, is a good match for you. So in the past, maybe that was something that came between you, the fact that you were opposite sides of the same coin. But it still means that you're part of the same coin. So you can achieve a good balance between the two of you. Card number 3 is finances. So we have cups, the 5 of cups. Which one is cups? I don't know. So cups are usually representative of emotions and relationships, but we have the 5 of cups for you for your finances. So this crystal is calcite. So say some of your dreams have not materialized. It can be that they are lost to you, or simply that it is time to move on and change your goals, redirect your energies, and travel the wonderful journey that your path will take you. You will have the freedom to express yourself and pursue new ideas and relationships. Don't get trapped in the past, for there lie only confused emotions, but there may be an opportunity in the future to revisit your old dreams anew. Calcite will help you stay emotionally strong and see the bigger picture that life offers. So it speaks of dreams. It speaks of dreams, and perhaps this is, well, as we are on finance, perhaps this has to do with a raise, or maybe even just being financially comfortable. Or perhaps you were in a position before the rising cost of just about everything, and you were in a good position and you had, you know, plans for all this money and things, but then it became a little more difficult for you to get by monetarily because the cost of everything has gone up. So maybe that's something, you know, perhaps you were thinking of buying a new house with this money, or you were thinking of taking a big holiday or something, but it's perhaps time to put that aside, but only for the moment. Or perhaps, you know, it says change your thoughts. So instead of taking a big holiday somewhere abroad, you can take a holiday somewhere closer, or you can consider a staycation or something like that. And, you know, it doesn't, just because it costs less doesn't mean that it will mean less, or it will mean less happiness. You know, just, you know, and also things won't be as bad financially forever. I'm sure that things will right themselves and they will work themselves out. It just says, you know, come back and look at that dream in you at a later time, and, you know, maybe even it's just not something that's feasible right now, and maybe that's for the best. Perhaps there's a reason it's not feasible right now. Perhaps there's something, you know, there's something different that's coming along that will be better for you. Even if it's not what you think you want, it might be just what you need. So we have our reading, and we have one final card for you, your moon card, to help tie together your July reading, group 3. So we have Moon in Taurus. So Moon in Taurus says, now is a time for focusing on finances and practical matters. As I was just saying. So, yes, perhaps you're needing to save that money for a different reason rather than spend. I know it can be difficult, but I think that you can do it. I've just had a thought when it comes to finances and how it says to refocus when it comes to finances. We of course also have balance and balance. So maybe you just need to find the right balance of what to spend and what to save as well. So hopefully that helped you and will help you in the future. And thank you very much for stopping by.